Hello, friends, and welcome to yet another lecture on chemical engineering thermodynamics. Today, we will learn how to solve a problem on cyclic process. Now, let's first understand what is a cyclic process so we can visualize it. So, let's visualize it off. This is the pressure, and this is the volume axis of the PV diagram. Now, if a process starts from state 1 and ends up at state 1, it is known as a cyclic process. So when you start from a state and after a series of processes end up to the same state, it's known as a cyclic process. So let's study this. So there we go. So let's draw our pressure axis followed by our volume axis. Now the first process is that the gas is isothermally compressed from 1 bar to 5 bar at 300 Kelvin. So we take an isotherm at 300 Kelvin. The initial condition is 1 bar. From here, the gas is compressed isothermally and comes to a condition where its pressure is 5 bar. From here, it is expanded at constant pressure where it is brought back to its original volume. So this is a constant pressure process. So the first one is an isothermal process. And then afterwards, the gas is again cooled at constant volume and brought back to its original condition. We can represent this as point 3. Now the temperature of this isotherm is known and this is 300 Kelvin. But the temperature at point 3 is unknown. To solve this problem, always remember one thing, we should know the temperature at each and every point, the temperature and the pressures at each and every point. If we know two variables, that is the temperature and the pressure, or volume and the temperature, or pressure and the volume, that is any two variables at each and every point, we can solve the problem. So let's get ahead. So first we have 1 bar and 300 Kelvin. So we know the initial pressure and temperature. The final pressure and temperature is 5 bar and 300 Kelvin. Now, for process 1, 2, the change in internal energy is 0 since the initial and final temperatures are the same. Also, the change in enthalpy is also equal to 0 since the change in temperatures from 1 to 2 is 0. That is, the temperatures are same. For an ideal gas, the enthalpy, the internal energy, they are only functions of temperature. And by that reasoning, change in internal energy and change in enthalpy is 0. So I have prepared a table here and we can enter the values. So for process 1, 2, the change in internal energy is 0. The change in enthalpy is also 0. Now let's calculate what is the work done. Now, most of you would try to memorize the formula and solve it. But then I will demonstrate a method where you need not memorize the formulas but can derive them in situ and solve it so that you do not have to remember a lot of things. Now, this is a closed system. The basis is taken as 1 kilomole. Therefore, if we need to calculate the work, we go about this way. For a closed system, the first law is written as change in internal energy is equal to heat given minus P dV. Since the change in internal energy is zero for an isothermal process, we get dQ is equal to minus P dV. And it should be noted that dW or work done is minus P dV. So let's concentrate on calculating the work first. So we have dW is equal to minus P dV, which can be written as minus d PV plus V dP. That is because dPV is equal to PdV plus V dP. So we put a minus here, we get minus here, we get minus here. So we can write minus PdV is equal to minus dPV plus V dP. And that is what I have written here. So we integrate this now for the process 1, 2, and we get integral 1, that is P1, since only P is the variable now, P2, and V we replace with RT. I have not written N because N is 1 upon P dP. Now, further, if we integrate this formula, we will get W for process 1, 2 as R into T ln of P2 by P1, and therefore W is equal to R, which is 8.314, into T, which is 300 Kelvin, into ln of P2, which is 5 bar, and P1, which is 1 bar. So we get 8.314 into 300. This is equal to so much, 2494.2. So we have ln of 5. So we take 5 and then we take the ln of it and multiply it by 8.314 and multiply it by 300. And the answer is 4014.26. So the work done is 4014.26 kilojoules. So the work done now is 4014.26 kilojoules. Now, what would be the heat given? The heat given will be exactly the opposite of it, as shown here. It is the opposite of the work done. Therefore, the heat given is going to be minus 4014.26. So we have solved the values for the first process. Now let's concentrate on solving it for the second process, that is 2 to 3. Now we do not know to calculate the internal energy and the enthalpy. We do not know what is the temperature at 3. But what do we know? We know the pressure, but the pressure is the same. So that's of not much consequence to us. We need to find out what is the temperature at 3. So let's do it. Now the volume at 2, the volume at 2 divided by the temperature at 2 is equal to the volume at 3 divided by the temperature at 3. That is because the pressures are equal. Also, the volume at 3 multiplied by the pressure at 3 divided by the temperature at 3 is equal to pressure at 1 into volume at 1 divided by the temperature at 1. We know that V1 and V3 are the same. That is, the volume at point number 1 and point number 3, they are the same. Therefore, what do we get is P3 divided by T3 is equal to P1 divided by T1. What is P1? 1 bar. What is T1? 300 Kelvin. And what is P3? It is 5 bar. T3 is the unknown. So from this we get T3 is equal to 5 into 300, that is 1500 Kelvin. So the temperature at 3 is nothing but 1500 Kelvin. Now let us start calculating the quantities, internal energy and enthalpy for the processes. So let's do it. Now for process 2 to 3, the change in internal energy is going to be N into Cv into T3 minus T2. This will be equal to N, which is 1 kilomole, into Cv, which was given as 20.785 into 1500 minus 300. Therefore, this will be 1 into 20.785 into 1500 minus 300. That will be 24,942 kilojoules. Now, the change in enthalpy is equal to N into Cp into T3 minus T2. So we can write the change in enthalpy as change in internal energy divided by Cv multiplied by Cp. So we do that. That is 34,918.8. 34,918.8. So we note down these values. The value is 24,942 and 34,918.8. Now, since it's a constant pressure process, the change in enthalpy will be equal to the heat given. So therefore, the heat given is 34,918.8. This is the heat given to the fluid. And what is the work done? Well, we first apply the first law to it, to the process, and we get it. So it's done in a very simple way. For a closed system, if we apply the first law, change in internal energy is equal to Q plus W, where W is the work done. Now for this process, process number 2, 3, we know that delta U is equal to 24,942 and the change in heat is equal to 34,000, and the heat given, not the change in heat, the heat given is 34,918.8. So we have plus W. Therefore, W is equal to 24,942 minus 34,918.8, and that makes it minus 9,976.8 minus 9,976.8. Now we have to do the calculations only for the last process. The last process is a constant volume process from 3 to 1. Therefore, the change in internal energy for such a process will be equal to N into Cv into T1, which is the final temperature, minus T3. So we have delta U is equal to N, which is 1 kilomole, into Cv, which is 20.785 into 300 minus 1500. Now this will be exactly the opposite value of the one we had got in the previous process, that is minus 24,942 minus 24,942 kilojoules. So let's note it down, minus 24,942 and of course delta H will be minus 34,918.8. Now since this is a constant volume process, the work done will be zero because there is no change in volume, therefore no displacement, and the heat taken from the fluid is going to be minus 24,942. So now let's do something. First, let us add up the contents in the first column and we get a 0. Why? It's simple because it's a cyclic process. The change in internal energy will be zero because we started from state 1 and we came back to state 1. The similar logic holds for the addition of the values in the enthalpy column. This should be equal to 0. Now let us add up the quantity of heat. So let's go ahead. Minus 4014.26 plus 34,918.8 minus 24,942. Now this makes it equal to 5,962.54. Now let's add up the quantity of work. So that is 4014.26 minus 9,976.8. Now this is minus 5,962.51. Well, but if we would have taken sufficient care of all the decimal places, we would have got these answers as same. And it's evident. So therefore, what do we get? Summation Q is equal to summation W numerically. And this is true for a cyclic process because for a cyclic process, if we apply the first law, du is equal to dw plus dq. And if we apply this law for the entire cycle, what do we get? We get summation of all the changes of internal energy for all the processes in the cycle, which should be equal to 0 since we start from state 1 and we end to state 1. This should be equal to summation dw plus summation dq, or we can write summation q plus summation w is equal to 0 for a cycle, and this gets proved in the problem. So this was all about solving a cyclic process. Hope you learned something and hope you enjoyed this lecture. If you need more such lectures, do write to me in your comment box. Have a great day, guys. Bye and have a nice time. Meet you again with new problems.